Paul, not only a win, but a win in style.
I thought it was a very good game, first and foremost. I think they're right up there in terms of the best teams. The table might not quite show that right at this moment in time, but certainly in possession, and they had a good... I thought we started okay, to be honest, but then they had it and changed the system in terms of what they had been. We didn't quite get to grips with that. Wanted to we were trying to get the messages across, still didn't quite understand that. At half time it was pleasing that we could sit them down and talk through, and then they changed pretty quickly because, in fairness, we got on top probably the last maybe 15 minutes of that first half as well. So overall delighted. I thought we dominated for large parts, but there's no doubt they had some good spells as well, and I think I haven't seen a team that's probably us in the home game where they've really negated Notts County, because they got some good players.
We go through the game. Sort of sloppy goal to give away, wasn't it, for the first one?
It just looked too easy, but only thing I'll say in slight defence, and I'm still not happy about it, but the lad Roberts, there were quite a few moments where he just looked like he was moving at a different speed to some of our players, and he's a good player. I think they were pleased that they didn't lose him in the window. Got a very good left foot. We spoke about him, trying to keep him on his right. He drifted all the way across the pitch, and I think certainly the last couple of, they weren't even challenges, but it was almost like we didn't feel that it was their job to try and do something about it, and a good finish. And he caused us problems in that first half in the areas that he was picking up. Second half, not so much, certainly. We said we got on top of the game. But yeah, it was disappointing, and you're then hoping that you don't go two down, because they were quite a confident team at that stage.
Then you get the penalty. It looked a bit of a soft one from our view of it. Yeah,
I'd agree. I'm not gonna lie. All I would say is I do think that the player tries coming through John. I don't think you see him given that often. That's what I would say. So I think we've had certainly, 4 more recently that are more penalties to me that we haven't been given. So I was pleased, but in the end it didn't count for anything. It's always a bad penalty when it doesn't go in, but I have to say, I thought he looked like it was right in the corner to me, and the keeper's made a good save.
Then as you say, you came back well before half time and then carried it on in the second time. I seem to remember, was it after the Wrexham game, you said to me you can't go for it from the 46th minute, but that seemed to be the case today.
Well, I think they changed because we had got on top of the game, and like I said, we talked about changing only small things, but just to try to get them to understand what's happening. I think one of the biggest things was, particularly on this side of the pitch, with Nishi engaging their wing back at times. It did leave it open down the sides a couple of times, and again they may have took advantage of that, but they didn't, thankfully, and we looked to threat, probably more so down this side. That's where a lot of the game seemed to be played out. So no, it wasn't, we weren't trying to be suicidal, let's put it that way. It was just maybe, like I said, giving some information, them understanding a little bit more, and being on the front foot. But like I said, in fairness, I think we had turned the tide of the game in that first half.
But with 20 minutes to go, you must be thinking, how have we not scored here?
Yeah, we first half, like I said, I think they were better for maybe 2/3 of the first half, if that makes sense. But we missed a penalty, we hit the bar, we put a great ball across the 6-yard box, didn't quite get. So we had our spells as well. But it felt like they scored when they were on top and we weren't. And obviously, because we've had this scenario a few times during a difficult run, you just start to think, is it going to be one of those days again? But thankfully it wasn't. We got in down the side on this right hand side again. John put a better ball across. Max does well in terms of getting across the back post and into a danger area, which is something we speak to the wide players a lot about. Did it midweek to score at Huddersfield in the reserves, ricocheted, and then Ryan tucked it away nicely. So again, that gives us some belief. They changed it, and in the end they were a big physical team, which isn't really what you associate with them, and we had to stand up to that side. But obviously got the winning goal and fantastic scenes at the end with the fans. I said going into the game, what a unbelievable support. Almost, not half of what we had for his last home game.
And you could have got more.
I would have thought so. I was thinking that looking at the stand, obviously the front sort of rows on, taken up and the far end. I'm pretty sure we would have sold them, John, you're right. So, it hasn't been easy, we said that. Again, stand by what I said, I don't think everything's been wrong, far from it. But in terms of a result, it's great to reward them with that today in what was, like I said, I think a very good game and for large parts a very good performance.
And we're playing what's become a weekly competition of who's claiming the gold.
The winner one, I thought it just looked like Misha. I must admit, I didn't. The one last week, still haven't got much opinion on it. I didn't really see what happened on the day, and looks a bit awkward. He's still got, I think, the 3 players trying to say it was their goal. Today, from my view at least, I thought it was Misha, but I think someone else said it wasn't. And then Rico was taking credit for telling him to go in the box, which I'm not really sure why he shouldn't be in the box. It's throw up and that's where he should be. So a good delivery. Luke wins that header back post, and like I said, fantastic scenes. Didn't really want to celebrate too much though, because it was still, I think 6 minutes had gone up, and been in this a long time again, where you never go over the line until the referee blows that final whistle. One
worrying aspect of Ben Fox's injury.
Yeah, he's looks like he's done his hamstring. So just reiterate the point there about it's a squad game, and Ben will have been disappointed not to have been in the starting lineup the last couple of games. I think Arjun's come in and done very well, but it doesn't mean it has to be one or the other. It can be both, and that will, ultimately we're going to need the squad. We're not carrying too many players now. It's got, I think, to a better level. So hopefully we don't suffer too many more, but I'm sure a lot of the players will be needed.